basically what I'm trying to say is when I don't have a job, I become a potato. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy, and today we're going to be discussing why seeing the world while working on cruise ships is great for someone who enjoys routine. But before we start, please click like and subscribe for more cruise ship content, and if you have any video suggestions or questions, you can leave them in the comments down below, or you can DM me over on Instagram at Cruising as Crew, and I'll be sure to get back to you. But as for now, let's get into the video. So when I left school, the only thing that I knew I wanted to do was travel. And I didn't really care how. But anyway, cut a long story short, I ended up on cruise ships. And I didn't realise how perfect that type of travel was for me until I then travelled in other ways. So I finished my first 9-month contract with Steiner, and in between contracts I went backpacking with my best friend, and it was very different, and obviously I loved it. It was incredible, but it did make me realise actually I really like seeing the world on a cruise ship. When you're backpacking, you're living out of your case. Well, we were anyway, because we were moving around so much. It's really hard to integrate anything else into your life because your main focus is seeing the place, as it should be, and that's fine for a short period of time. Like, we were backpacking for a few months, but it's not something that I could do full time because there's no routine to it. I mean, I couldn't afford to do it full time, but for someone who does want to travel full time, it was really great for me to find cruise ships, because for people who want to travel full time, I feel like the only thing that is heavily promoted is backpacking. But if backpacking isn't for you, if you're not someone who wants to live out of a suitcase and not have any routine and not know what's next, then it's hard to think of like, okay, well, you know, how else can I do this? So today I'm here to share why working on cruise ships is a great other alternative for people who want to travel full time but don't necessarily want to backpack around the world. Firstly, you're not living out of a suitcase. You have a room, you have a wardrobe, you have a bathroom, like you have your own place. So the best way I could describe it is it's kind of like you're picking up your apartment and your job and taking it with you, which is kind of what everyone wants, because you don't have to worry about packing a case, making sure you're taking the right things. You don't even have to worry about where you're going. The captain will decide that. You just turn up there in the morning, you know, look at the weather, get dressed, go out. So it takes all of the stress out of traveling, because I think the stressful part is, how are we going to get there? When are we going to get there? Booking accommodation. And, you know, the exciting part of traveling is doing the exploring. And by seeing the world on a cruise ship, you don't have to plan a place to stay because you live on the ship. You don't have to plan anything. Like, you can just focus on doing the fun bits. When you have time off work, you do the fun stuff. You have nothing to stress you out, which is great. You have a comfort zone. Now, I feel like I'm going to contradict myself a bit here, because in a lot of videos before I've said, you know, working on cruise ships is going to be so far out of your comfort zone. And it is when you compare working on cruise ships to working at home. However, when you compare working on cruise ships to backpacking, yeah, the cruise ships is going to offer you more of a comfort zone. And when I say that, people are instantly like, boring, but it's not. We're humans. We do like a comfort zone. You know where you're going to sleep tonight. You know where you're going to do your laundry. You know where you can go to the pub. Whereas when you're backpacking, everything is new. New accommodation, new people, probably every day, depending on how long you stay in a place. New languages all the time. Whereas at least on the cruise ship, there's one language that the majority of people speak. So as I said, like, there's still the element of, I know what's coming, I have a routine, I know I'm going to go to work this hour, I know that that's my cabin, I know that my bed is going to be there at the end of every shift, but you still get the excitement of being in a new place every day without the stress. So it offers me just enough of a comfort zone and just enough excitement to keep me happy. Because I think too much of anything is bad. You know, if you're completely submerged in a comfort zone, you're not going to be happy. But if you are completely out of your depths and there's absolutely no comfort in a situation, that's also not great either. So it's the perfect combination of both. But if you have worked on cruise ships and you've also been backpacking, let me know what you think about that, whether you think I'm talking shit or whether you agree. Traveling on a cruise ship, I would say, is safer. I know my mom is a lot happier that I am travelling the world on a cruise ship, because she always said, well, if you get off the ship in the morning to explore a port and you don't come back by crew all aboard, someone is going to miss you. You know, you're not going to go to work, your cabin mate's not going to see you. Like, someone is going to raise the alarm that you're not there. Whereas when we were backpacking in Asia, there was a few occasions where I was like, I'm going to die. And no one would have raised the alarm, no one would have missed us. So yeah, from that point of view, it's definitely safer, because it's very unlikely that you're going to go missing or you're going to get yourself into too much trouble. And if you do get yourself into some kind of situation, there are people that are going to look after you. You know, if you, let's say you're running late to the ship and you're in a dodgy situation with a taxi driver, just for example, you've got a lot of officers that you can call on the ship and someone is going to be able to help you out. So in that sense, I would say it is safer than, you know, backpacking it. So many people work and travel, but they go to a new country, and every new country or new town that they go to, they get a new job so that they can afford to live in that town, stay in that town, move to the next town. And that is amazing if that's what you love. You know, we're all different, we all like different things, but for me that would just be absolutely exhausting to have to get a job every other month, because obviously with every new job you have to, it's a new learning experience, new people, like that's a lot of adjustment. And if you can do that, props to you. But I really like the fact that I know what my job is. For 6 months I know what my job is and I have a routine with that job. And yes, I still get to see loads of exciting places, but I don't have to get a new job every place I go to be able to afford to go there. And also with that type of work and travel, your paycheck is probably going to determine when and where you go next. You know, if you've got a really expensive place you want to go to and a cheaper place, you don't get paid that much, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the cheaper place. Whereas on a cruise ship, it doesn't matter what your monthly paycheck is. Like, you're going to go to that place regardless of what you get paid, because the ship is going to take you there. So the financial aspect of travel, the stress of that is taken out of it. Routine. You are going to get into a routine when you are on board. You're going to have a job and you're going to be able to implement things around that pillar, like working out, eating healthy, getting off and exploring the ports. And I think we all experience this in lockdown. When we don't have a pillar, whether that is a job, a dog, kids, you know, something that we have to do, it's very easy to let everything else slide. Like, I'm not going to work out today. I'm not going to get dressed today because I don't have to go to work. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel, because it gave me a focus, it gave me a pillar to orient everything else in my life around. And for me, I know it might be different for other people, but for me, when I was backpacking, I didn't have that. You know, it was just like, let's go with the flow and go where we feel like going, which is incredible. It was amazing. But I didn't eat healthy. I didn't work out. I didn't do anything productive during that time other than seeing the places, and I don't regret it. But the point is, if you want to travel long term, I do believe that you need some of a focus, because I think that in itself makes you more productive as a person. And for me, that is the main reason why cruise ships is so great for me, because I have that core, I have that pillar, my job, and everything else kind of comes secondary to that. But because I have a routine and a schedule, I can fit things in. I'm like, right, I'm not working till 7 o'clock tonight, so I'm going to work out today, I'm going to eat healthy today, I'm going to do this today, maybe I'll make a YouTube video today. Basically what I'm trying to say is, when I don't have a job, I become a potato. So I need a job, I need a focus to stop me becoming a potato. And throughout all the people that I have met, I believe that we're all a little bit like that. So this is why working on cruise ships is a great way to travel if you are someone like me who likes routine, needs a pillar to keep them motivated, you know, and doesn't want to live out of a suitcase for a year. If you are like that, like I said, props to you. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe and leave me a comment down below. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And if you have any video suggestions, you can leave them in the comments down below or DM me over on Instagram as Cruising as Crew. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.